Hello friends. Today I would like to talk to you about reframing. Now reframing can occur for situations, for encounters with people, conversations, memories, anything that you have perceived as a negative in your life and that you have internalized in a negative way that keeps trauma of some sort locked in your body. And it is a powerful tool. I trained in reframing in counseling as one of my undergrads. However, it was only recently that I have actually been able to start doing this for myself. I discovered the reason for that is that in order to reframe, you really have to have a strong understanding of self-love and of your own innate worth. And until that happens, reframing is difficult because often what you're reframing is a shot at your self-worth, is a shot at your innate value, and it's very hard to reframe and change that when you don't believe that you are a valuable human being. So how I best describe things to people, how I best get a point across is to use examples from my own life. And so that's what I'm going to do today. So like I said, I've been trained in counseling. I know how to reframe things for people in a supportive setting, and I'm happy to do that. I have tried to work on it myself to not as much success, and I couldn't understand really why that was happening. And then this past year, big journey on self-love, really understanding my own self-worth and what that looks like and how the lack of it has affected my life in many different ways, and looking at the sources of why I feel that massive sense of worthlessness. And so one of the big things that kept coming up for me over and over again was one single conversation with my dad when I was little. And it went like this. We were at a gathering. We went to a church where a lot of people gathered together all the time. And my dad was often the life of the party. He would tell jokes, and he was the best storyteller, like the best storyteller. He could spin a yarn or, tell a tale like nobody else that I've ever known. And like I said, he was wonderful with the jokes, liked to make people laugh. So we were at an event at somebody's house. We were just sitting around, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old, not very old. And my dad grew up where insults showed affection. Not something that I myself, ever understood or took, or, I didn't get that from him. I never learned how to take that as a loving gesture. And so we're at this event, and all the adults are sitting around. I'm over playing with the other kids, and my dad calls me over. Hey, Cater, come here. So I go over to him, and he sits me on his knee, and, big circle of adults. And he says to me, hey, Cater, you're pretty. And like my heart filled with joy, there's your daddy's making you the center of attention and telling you something positive about yourself. But then he went on with pretty ugly. That was how he finished the joke. And, some of the adults laughed, mainly the guys. I think that's, joking around like that, maybe more of a male thing than it is a female thing. I know that my mom was upset about it. And I was crushed. That moment, I can still feel all the feelings. I can feel what the room felt like. I can picture the lighting. I can smell the people in the room. Like it was an intense memory for me. And from that moment on, I really struggled to believe that I had worth, that I was pretty in any kind of way, that, because if my own dad thought that I wasn't pretty, and that I could be called out about it in front of a group full of adults, then, maybe I wasn't worthy. And I struggle all through. Now, that's the only time The only time in my entire life that my dad ever said anything negative about my looks, ever. Told me I was beautiful lots of times. He fed into me in many positive ways, but that one stuck. That was a huge trauma moment for me. And so I've been trying to work with that one forever, because I've known for a long time that that is one that really holds or held me in place. And so I had a friend who I was hanging out with the past little bit, and we really looked into videos on manifestation and all of those kinds of things, and reframing came up in that regard. And he is a smart human being and understood a lot of things, and so we were talking about that and this one specific incident with my dad. And because I was in so much pain still from it, because it was right there for me, I couldn't see anything more from it, I didn't know how to reframe it. I had no idea how to move forward and understand my self-worth better. And so this wise, beautiful human being said to me, well, go through the story again. But it ends with, hey, Cater, you're pretty. Because that's what he wanted to say. His own stuff, his own junk got in the way, and he added the other part. But all he wanted to say as a dad was that, hey, Cater, you're pretty. Now, as you can probably tell, getting a little teary, that was crazy, because it never occurred to me that that was all that he wanted to say. I tried to extrapolate a whole bunch of different reasonings and so on from it, but it wasn't until this grown man, some 40 years after this event occurred, was able to tell me, he's like, no, you reframe it by just stopping the story where it was supposed to stop, where your dad's trauma wasn't involved in it. And it's only been a little while since this reframing has occurred for me, but holy heck, has it ever had an impact on how I view myself. And now I'm going through all the other incidents that came after the one with my dad, and I'm able to see them way more clearly, and I'm able to reframe those as well in a more positive way for myself, so that I can move forward and I can be in my perfect worth, and really understand how to move forward in my life and how to grow, how to be in my fullest abundance of worth, the worth that I innately have, and how I can grow that moving forward. So reframing is a very necessary part of the healing journey, my friends. It is powerful. It is a powerful tool. Sometimes we need somebody else there. Like I said, now I'm able to reframe other things as I'm moving forward. But that first initial one, holy heck, I needed somebody there to help me see what I couldn't see. And I really strongly want that for you. I want you to be able to reframe those negative moments in your life that have really shaped you as a human being. And I want you to be able to turn them from the negative to the positive, from the dark to the light, from something that, instead of weighing you down, lifts you up, because you deserve that. If you need help with that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am available to help with that. I know that there's other counselors who are also able to help with that, energy workers. Right now I'm just doing Reiki and reflexology, so those are the modalities with which I would help you reframe things. But you are worth it. Your growth and your healing, your journey, you yourself, you're worth the reframing. And I encourage you to love yourself enough to reach out and see what you can do to change some of those stories for yourself. I love you so much, and I'm wishing you so much peace and so much joy and so much abundance in so many ways. I love you. Be well.